Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I have a lot of things that we'd like to talk about today. Lots of happenings, lots of fantasies, lots of scenarios. And we have a new US champ. Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Can't wait to talk about it. Buckle up.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. We also have a new sort of like moments after we went off the air last week, a new women's world champ too.
We certainly do.
We were just talking about this.
We were like right as soon as we were coming off the air. Actually, I think we might have actually said it when we were still live.
Yeah, we did.
They made me feel like Io Sky had a chance to win, and we talked about no, there's no way, right? Like not going into WrestleMania. Like,
There's no way. Why would they do that, right?
Yeah.
Why? Sure enough,
they gone and done
later,
it. They gone and done it.
Hey, you guys don't know shit. Don't miss television because
that's it.
You have no idea what's going to happen.
That's it.
They're right, and they did it again on Friday. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of saw the thing Friday coming. Like,
that
you
one
want
was
to talk
more,
about?
I mean, but to be fair, also they had the tag titles switch hands the Monday prior. The women's tag titles switch hands the Monday prior. So WWE been changing some titles on television.
Yeah, man, shaking some things up going into WrestleMania. I mean, I'm kind of here for it.
I don't know what's going to happen, and I feel like that's really a testament to what's happened in WWE under Triple H's regime. Is love it or hate it, it's like you don't fucking know what's going to happen. The dirt sheets don't fucking know what's going to happen.
No, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I screen grabbed this last week after we recorded and it said, when Vince was in charge of WWE Creative, people like Meltzer and Sean SRS would leak names of winners of Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber matches. In fact, they'd even give away the WrestleMania main event 6 months before the show. Mm-hmm. It says, however, since Triple H became the WWE Creative head, everything has become unpredictable. The dirt sheets have zero idea what's going on. Let's take a moment to appreciate Triple H for creating such a great environment in WWE for the fans again.
Absolutely. And I think that's I hate spoilers. So like when somebody would be like, rumor is Brock Lesnar is going to be there and he's going to retain at WrestleMania. And I find out in December when that's the news on my birthday. I'm like, what? Why are you guys doing this? To like this seems counterproductive to everything that I hold dear as far as pro wrestling is concerned. And you guys are just here fucking me up. Like, why are we doing this? And
yeah, man, a little wild.
So now it's like they make Dave Meltzer look stupid week in and week out. And
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I think we all are.
That guy's picked up enough main events for the rest of us to last us the rest of our lives. We're here to see him get his comeuppance for that.
Although, impressively enough, Meltzer gave Elimination Chamber some pretty high marks.
It was fucking
gave
awesome.
The lowest rating of the night. The lowest Meltzer Mania star rating of the night was Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae at 2 3/4 stars.
That's probably about fair.
And then behind that was the Women's Elimination Chamber with 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give that 4.5 stars or so. I don't know. That may have stole the show, but that's
And then the Men's Elimination Chamber with 4 3/4 stars.
Easily could have swapped one to the other, but that's fine too. I thought that was perfectly good.
And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the unsanctioned match, got 5 Meltzer Mania stars.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm not real. I mean, that's the kind of match that's not for me. Kevin and Sammy clearly are better at it than most other people.
I thought it was great.
I mean, for the type of match it was great, and those two guys are better at it than like anybody else is. So, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like, here, watch the professionals do it correctly. But like those guys could also, I don't know. Part of me always feels like after a match like that, it's like, you know, would this have just been a better match if it was just a straight up wrestling match, especially considering how it ended?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So I mean, that's sort of always where my thought process goes. Was this also a 5-star wrestling match, not a 5-star unsanctioned match? Like if it was just called by the books, maybe, probably. You know, I understand why they did it this way based on, you know, storytelling and what have you. And I thought, you know, that they earned the right. And I feel like that's the hardest part is when you have a match like this, but it's not earned. It's just like, hey, we're gonna beat the hell out of each other and bleed. But it's not earned. Like,
Well, I thought they told a great story.
oh,
man.
I did too. I'm just saying, in you know, if we're talking about Meltzer stars, would it not have been just as many stars and just as good, if not better, of a match if it was just a regular straight up wrestling match?
But like I said, I think that's low hanging fruit for those two. Like they've just got this continued built in storyline that just never seems to go away.
Nor do I think this makes it go away either. They built this into like, this is gonna be the final one to blow it all off, and then Randy Orton's back, and it's like, oh well, so it's actually probably not that at all. We're gonna definitely get more of this later.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely something's gonna go on there. You know, so you know, circle back here. Another screen grab that I took. This is about Rhea Ripley. It says Rhea Ripley is washed. I don't care how hard WWE tries to shove Rhea Ripley down our throats. She's peaked. She's stale, and it's time to move on. This mommy act has been the same tired routine for years now. She walks out, smirks, squashes her opponents, and leaves. Wash, rinse, repeat. There's no struggle, no suspense, no excitement. Just the same predictable booking that has turned her from must-see into background noise.
I feel like the internet's been doing this thing, and this is one of those internet takes that like the internet forgets everything that happened pre-COVID, like so pre-2020, pre-2021, something like that. So anything prior to that, they have there's just no concept of history or anything. And somebody said, I saw it to piggyback off of that this week. Oh, a reign of terror ended when I was like, but buddy, you've not seen a reign of terror. Like what did you only start watching wrestling in 2020? You've not seen a reign of terror. Okay. You've not seen a part-time champion. You've not seen like you could even even if you call Roman Reigns' like long title run a reign of terror, it wasn't compared to like the Brock Lesnar ones, some of the John Cena reigns. Like it was, you know, Roman at least showed up once a month. Like there would be points in time where like Brock won at like SummerSlam and we didn't see him till WrestleMania.
Well, I think that's pushing it a little bit.
It was close.
I mean, I can understand the stiff jab, you know, but that's just because he was too busy hanging out with Vinnie Mac and Janelle Grant. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry.
Oof.
Sorry. Oof.
Oof.
So the screen grab that I have goes on to say at this point she's hurting the women's division more than she's helping it. When one person is booked like they're untouchable, what's left for everyone else?
I mean, isn't that all? That's a bad take because that's literally how pro wrestling has been booked for 100 years.
WWE has pushed her so hard that nobody feels like a credible threat anymore. And don't even start with me, oh, but she'd be amazing in AEW argument. She wouldn't. The problem isn't WWE, it's that she's done everything already.
See, I don't think that's true at all. Because, like, she's only had, 3 title reigns?
Yeah, something like that.
Plus the main roster?
Plus like, NXT.
Well, we are now, NXT doesn't count. That officially, as far as WWE is concerned, NXT is its own thing. We're not counting NXT title reigns towards the X amount of time world champion. Same way with, while they're counting like WCW, they won't count like if you're the ECW champ, like that's separate. That doesn't count as one on your title list. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that Rhea hasn't accomplished yet, and a lot of that being that she's not, she's only like a 3-time world champ. Her reigns are good, are long. She's a steady hand with the title. She's on TV I think a lot of what it is that she's on TV a lot.
So you think that she's overexposed is why this particular internet wrestling community human thinks that she's washed.
I think so. I think that absence makes the heart grow fonder as far as a lot of wrestling fans are concerned, and she's on TV a lot. She has been for a long time. That doesn't bother. I prefer that, if I'm being honest. I would rather her be on TV in 2 segments, a match and a backstage segment at least every week, and have these, because I think she's a star. I think she's a big deal, and I think that having your stars, having the people who are big deals on TV a lot, giving them mic time, giving them match time, giving them backstage segment time, I think that that's what you do, and I think that's how you build and maintain stars. However, I understand the internet wrestling community very much thinks in the same way that Tony Khan does, where it's like, all right, where's my next shiny toy? Whereas Rhea's has established herself as a prominent, permanent star. She will be she's going to be held up to the likes of Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Hulk Hogan. God, who else are like people who were like consummate, like Shawn Michaels, guys like that, who are always, always had a belt, or were always in a title picture, always had a belt around their waist, for a long period of time. They're doing the same thing.
A championship,
right? But they're doing the same thing.
Hold up your pants.
They're doing the same thing to Gunther though, like, because he's whatever the stat is, like, Gunther's been in WWE for X amount of time, but he's been a champ for 80% of the time that he's been in WWE.
Well, they did the same thing with Asuka too, if you really think about it.
Yeah, Asuka too.
And if you go back into the archives of the show on YouTube, I think that I did a solo little thingamajigger about Asuka
being bad for business. But as far as she's concerned, she's kind of a hard, because like Asuka's in ring is fantastic, but like you can't hand her a microphone and give her 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure you can. I see you,
yeah. But that's what happens, right? And as much as you and I like that, you can't do that every week.
No, and I think they've done a really good. They've done a good job with like Shinsuke to like put him in those vignettes where like the words come across the bottom, and like you get the subtitles. You feel like you're watching a Godzilla movie, but like at the same point in time, it puts you in a position where you're like, oh, yeah, that's relatable.
Yeah, and he's speaking English too. I think Shinsuke's English is very good. I think his English is better than Asuka's is. I think Io also speaks English a little bit better than Asuka. I think Io's English is very good, which is why they've been more they've been less apprehensive to put her back and forth in title pictures and give her time on microphones and now time on these segments like after the fact, like the post match press conferences. So I think that there are ways to work around it, and they're finding ways to work around it. Same with Penta, right? They gave Penta a microphone, and we were like, wait, Penta speaks English?
Yeah, his English is so much better present day than it was just a few short years ago.
Remember when it was Penta says? Remember, like Alex, when Alex
Alex
Abrahantes had to, like, Penta would deliver it in Spanish, and then Alex would be Penta says, but like that shit was over. That was great.
Yeah, shit was over. Everybody in the crowd had Penta says signs, and like the shit was over with the AEW audience there for a little while.
It was over with me. I liked it.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like,
so
Alex is over as fuck.
yeah. So this goes on to say, Tom, this refutes your last statement. It says Ripley isn't a rising star anymore. She's a performer on autopilot, stuck in an endless loop of the same recycled storylines. And the worst part, WWE will keep forcing it no matter how stale it gets. It's time for them to wake up and realize that the division doesn't need mommy anymore.
Wholeheartedly disagree. However, that was clearly written prior to Rhea dropping the title in sort of interesting fashion on Monday.
Actually, that was written on Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, so they didn't watch Raw? Or they did watch Raw, and this was a response to, it was like, hey, since you've pulled the title off Rhea, kick her out. Like, yeah, okay. Because that makes sense. Like, regardless of what this internet commenter feels about Rhea Ripley, she makes money in the sense of the word, where they put her on posters, people buy the t-shirts, people buy the tickets, because her being at an event makes money for that event. People come to the signings, people are excited to stand in line to meet her. She's very much, she's sort of, I think, what I hoped that Roman Reigns would have been. I realize the dynamic is just different, men and women, but in the sense where it's like, you know, she's at the signing, she's at all the pay-per-views, she's got multiple segments on the show that she's on every week. And, you know, when she carries a title, you see that title. She walks out. Yes, mommy's always on top. We get that. Like, okay, I get that, like, you know, WWE pushes the catchphrases. They want to sell the shirts and whatever. But it's, you know, as far as the consistency of performance is concerned, I don't think she coasted at all. I thought
No, I don't think so either.
I think that's just that's a pure farce. I feel like Rhea Ripley goes out there and gives it 100% every week. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows she's a safe hand. She's a steady hand, and her matches are always good. And I think this week's match only goes further to prove my point that she was, you know, she was in control of that match the whole time. She ran that match start to finish, and the little back and forth between her and oh God, who was sitting there? Who won? Oh, her and Bianca, which is what cost her at the I mean, is that a pro wrestling trope? Yeah, obviously. Like, when that started happening, that little back and forth with her and Bianca, I'm like, oh shit, this is how titles get lost. And that's, you know, that's what happened. But, you know, it could have just as easily been, because Triple H has swerved us so much, it could have just as easily been a red herring. So I you know, I thought that the exchange between her and Bianca was great, because obviously there's history there.
Right.
And I thought that it added something to the match. And I also thought it added something to Io's win, because Io was able to capitalize on that, you know, little reaction. The only thing I didn't particularly like about it is that Bianca did put hands on Rhea. And it was, the match there wasn't a disqualification. The ref saw it, like, ref was right there.
Yeah, right there.
So the fact that it wasn't thrown out right there, and maybe that's storyline, maybe we're going to hear about that on Monday, and maybe that's how that becomes a triple threat match in at WrestleMania. That's entirely possible, I think. But you know, that would be my only criticism. If that just goes away undiscussed or unlitigated, so to speak.
But I mean, Jessica Carr was the referee in that match, if I'm not mistaken. She had eyes on the entire confrontation, and I mean, Rhea Ripley started that confrontation. She did. But I mean, Bianca pushed her. It's not like she punched her.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, but she pushed her like into the ring. Like, she hit back first into the ring.
I mean, that sounds like that's Rhea Ripley's fault. Like, you know,
I guess you're right. I mean, it's there's certainly an argument to be made, right? But I think that I think you have to make that argument now going into Raw on Monday. I think there has to be a, you know, she pushed me. she knows how to lay hands on me, kind of a tweener thing to kind of maybe try to get herself into a WrestleMania match for her title, and maybe show a little bit of vulnerability there, like a little bit of mental instability because I fucking lost my belt, like my reason for being, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could see how there's an argument though that, like, maybe it's time for a little changey poo a little bit, maybe a little.
I mean, it's entirely possible that she lost the belt too, so that to bring her to SmackDown coming post Mania, or even sooner than that.
That's a possibility as well, especially with Charlotte on the horizon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to keep our eyes on Rhea Ripley and what the internet wrestling community's continued perception of her is moving forward.
I think getting her away from Liv makes sense too. That's maybe been too much, and I maybe it's time to let that. I feel like I felt this way about like Seth and Roman like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like they just need to not be near each other anymore, and maybe this is sort of a vehicle to kind of separate Liv, because Liv's been putting on some of the best performances of her career right now. She's as hot as she's ever been on TV. Like she's just knocking shit out of the park week in, week out. And I think that if you're going to have Rhea as a integral part of your women's, main event title picture, you can't just keep smashing her against Liv because they're the two that are the most over. Like we gotta switch it up a little bit. And maybe that's, maybe her title loss was really just sort of a like, well, okay, now we can move her to SmackDown so we can keep her away from Liv. Liv can have storylines with other people, including Bianca and Jade and whomever else now. And we can have Rhea on Fridays because Fridays needs a little bit of love anyway. It could benefit from mommy, if I'm being honest. So let's be as somebody who's very dominant, but who's also on TV every week. Friday could use the shit out of that.
Absolutely. I mean, staying with the Raw women's division, we and somebody that needed a fresh coat of paint. It has been revealed, good sir, that Naomi is the attacker on one Jade Cargill.
What a wonderful segment.
You've been gushing over this segment.
What a wonderful segment. Oh, like, so
that happened on Friday. I don't know why I said it
Friday.
On
yeah.
Monday.
What a wonderful segment. It sort of kicked off the show. Gave me what I wanted immediately. Those of you who listened,
Randy Orton kicked off the show.
Randy kicked off the show, but it was like within the first hour. And it gave me what I wanted immediately. It was like, give me the answers. Let me know where everybody stands. Let's progress this storyline. Let's not finish it off, but let's immediately move the needle, right? Immediately kick this up. Tell me what the fuck happened. I thought Bianca's performance was outstanding. I thought that Naomi's performance was outstanding. I have been a heavy critic of Naomi.
Oh, we both have.
But I thought her performance on Friday was outstanding. I think that her getting some sort of a turn is absolutely what her character needs. I love that she came out in the bejeweled like neck brace.
You're such a fucking mark.
I really am. Like when she came out with the bejeweled neck brace, I was like, I love it. I texted you immediately.
Yeah,
like I love this. Like I wasn't spoiling it because I knew you weren't watching it live. But like I felt like just me having to say Bianca coming out in the bejeweled neck brace, that shit does it for me. That's the kind of thing that you can only do in pro wrestling, and it makes me disappointed when people don't.
Yeah.
You can only do that after somebody
I mean, and then fucking Jade's music hits and she like rips it off and like, come on, what are we doing here?
No, that's perfect is what it is. We're doing everything exactly right. Thank you for pandering to me. I appreciate whomever booked that and who probably listened to this show and me criticize it because you did this for me, and I appreciate you. Even if you didn't, I still appreciate you. If it wasn't done for me specifically, but whatever. I think it was.
I mean, maybe it was. But yeah, that's going to be fun moving forward going into WrestleMania season. Clearly, we're going to get Jade Cargill and Naomi at WrestleMania.
And I like that kind of gets Bianca, like if we're talking about it logistically, it gets Bianca away from Jade and away from Naomi. It puts Bianca back in the hands of a veteran who is a safe hand who, will just bump for Jade at WrestleMania. It won't be a long match, but Jade's return she'll kick the shit out of Naomi from post to post. Naomi will look great selling for her, and there'll be some drama intertwined in there. Maybe some, no killer, no, whatever it is. Maybe Bayley gets involved. Who knows? Because they're all best friends, right? But this is right now, I would say this is the WrestleMania match that thus far has had the most build and the one that I am most excited to see play out at this point.
Hey, let me ask you a question though. You think we hear the coffin creak tomorrow?
I would love to. No, I don't think I think if he comes back, I don't think we hear the coffin creak at all. I do think everything goes pitch black and he's just there.
That's not Tommy End.
I think everything just goes pitch black. Lights come on, and there he is. Oh, shit! Just like sitting crisscross in the middle of the ring. Like, oh, shit! Like, I expect to hear Pat McAfee yell, oh, shit, it's him! Like, something like that. Like, that's, I expect the announcers to feel jump scared. I expect at least 2 people to get spin kicked to the face. And I expect the lights to go out at least once, if not twice.
So do we drop him into the Intercontinental picture with Braun Breaker? Or do we drop him into the U.S. picture with the new champion that we will discuss later on, LA Knight?
So I think it makes the most sense to drop him in with Braun Breaker only because LA Knight just got the belt. So to he's not going to lose his first. I mean, maybe he will, but he's probably not going to lose his first feud with the title. So I think it's a safer bet to say if you throw him in with Braun, you don't know what's going to happen, and it's harder to predict. So I think that's more likely. I think we see it, like you said. I think we see it on Monday too. So we'll see something happen.
I mean, and honestly, it would make the most sense to do it tomorrow, just simply coming out of the AEW pay-per-view, to kind of quell some of those expectations, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be fun. You know who else is a free agent?
A lot of people, but
Ray Fenix has been granted his release from AEW.
I think he actually might be more likely to show up tomorrow. Then that's not Tommy End. Than Aleister Black, because he'll come back as Aleister.
Word on the street is that WWE already has merchandise in place, just like they did for Penta. So, and that
we saw the Penta gear though, like WWE put it on Twitter, like Monday morning before Penta debuted.
Yes, yes.
So I guess we'll see if there is Aleister Black T-shirts.
Aleister Black from Dumbledore, Iowa.
From Dumbledore, Iowa. That's not Tommy End. That's not the man I wrestled.
The Dark Knight of Dumbledore.
That's not the man I wrestled in Dusseldorf, Germany. What the fuck? What are you even talking about, bro?
He doesn't know.
He's not sure.
He was high. He didn't know.
I mean, is he still high?
Probably.
Homie is still like just plowing through his. Just it doesn't matter how many people are on that are over there with him. He is plowing through them all.
So the internet doesn't miss, bro, and there's a couple of funny blurbs that have come off the internet this week, and here's one of them. Oh fuck me. I did it for Bianca.
Somebody said, I'm sending this to Jay. I know she's married to Jimmy. I don't have his phone number. I'm sending this to Jay.
Oh shit.
One of the indie darlings who
it just fucking It just put Naomi's face right on her father-in-law's body
Yeah, right.
in a scene with Cactus Jack.
I did it. Like that was.
I did it for the Rock, brother.
I did it for the Rock, brother. That was that. I remember that segment very fondly. I know the internet made fun of it. It became a meme after that. But at the time when it happened, I thought it was great.
And then, the internet, again, just doesn't miss. Something that I found really interesting was CM Punk, within his impassioned promo to open Monday Night Raw.
Loved that.
And
CM Punk had a great day. Got to make fun of his boss and tell his least favorite coworker and fight his least favorite coworker.
Yep. But he had made a thing. I've never been so desperate to wear a fake title and proclaim myself the people's champion. Oh, yeah. And while this line made me happy, the internet also reminded me that this was a thing.
Sure was.
So yeah.
Did he not call himself the people's champion at that point as well?
I think he called himself the real world champion.
Yeah, the real world champ. And they had to have a unification match.
Yeah.
Much like John Cena.
That never played out because he choked Jack Perry backstage.
He choked him just a little bit.
Yeah.
But he and John Cena had a similar. That's how that worked. That's how that worked in WWE. Him and John Cena, they had a unification match because Punk left and then came back with the title. There's a picture of the two of them standing there with the same title, and they'd have a unification match at WrestleMania. Maybe it was at SummerSlam.
Speaking of John Cena, I'm convinced that John Cena doesn't need to take the championship from Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
But I want him to do it just for the number.
That 17th title is such a legendary and awesome milestone that putting on Cena might backfire with the crowd. Honestly, I'd rather see him fall to Cody as a stepping stone.
Honestly, though, what if Rick is involved? What if Rick shows up to try to stop Cena?
Especially considering Rick just randomly reminded everybody that he still works for AEW.
Yeah. But what if Rick shows up and John Cena kicks him in the face and Rick takes a bump? Because Rick would love to take a bump. It would be Rick's favorite thing.
Yeah, but Hunter would never let him take a bump in a WWE ring.
I'm not in the ring. Not in the ring, but let's say
Cena not at all. I don't think he's letting Rick take a bump at all.
And Rick hits the ground.
Nah, he's not going to let Rick take a bump at all. I mean, the last time Rick was on WWE television, he was being drugged by his collar by Batista.
That's right.
So this goes on to say, picture this. He loses to Cody, flips the switch with a few heel matches. Give me Punk. Come on. That's what this says. And then figures out this isn't how he's meant to top Ric Flair's record. And that's what the heel turn's all about. So he says, no rush. Let's chill and let it play out.
I think it's great, honestly. Whether he beats Cody at Mania or not, kind of is irrelevant to me at this point. I'm here for the swerve. Never in a million years did I expect John Cena to turn heel with The Rock against Cody Rhodes, especially after The Rock kind of screwed the pooch on, what was it, Monday? Then Monday before, after The Rock was sort of just come out and what the fuck are you talking about, bro? At no point was I oh, this is where John Cena's going to save this and become The Rock's bitch. I didn't have it in my bingo cards. And then it happened. And I was I can't believe I'm stunned. I was stunned. That was the last thing that I would expect to happen. And Cena did it perfectly too, because he went from happy-go-lucky John Cena to mean mugging it. Kicked Cody right in the dick.
Yeah, sure did.
Whoa,
sure did. I'm really interested to see how all of this Cena heel turn shit plays out. Yeah. It really, really excited for that. So on the Revolution Media call, Tony Khan was asked about John Cena's heel turn, and and comments on whether he feels any added pressure to take a big creative swing in response. And Tony Khan says, we're really very happy with the shows right now. The quality of these shows have been tremendous, and we helped build a lot of excitement around the original Revolution by just doing great shows week in and week out. It works so well for us. I think that if we do that here, it'll pay off for us. We do take big swings and do exciting things on the shows, and we have these big developments, big moments, and I want to keep doing that, but I don't want to change anything we're doing just because another wrestling promotion has changed what they're doing.
Oh boy.
Well, I think it's important to keep an eye on what's happening in the world of wrestling. There are exciting things happening all over the sport. But one of the most exciting things, and the thing that I'm focused on is and most excited for, is this Sunday, the AEW Revolution pay-per-view.
Well, at least he's consistent.
Consistently coked out of his mind.
I mean, yeah. It's so, again, this goes back to what we were talking about with, like, they need to make TV dangerous, because otherwise who the fuck cares?
Tom E. Dangerously.
Exactly. So, like, and this is just, in my opinion, Tony Khan kind of doubling down on, making sure TV is not dangerous. Now, there weren't any title matches on Dynamite this week because obviously they have a bunch coming up today. There's title matches on right now as we're speaking. So I'm fine with that. I don't think that you need to put title matches on the show before your pay-per-view. I don't think that makes sense. And I'm fine with that. But, like, that just leads me to believe that the next title match that he puts on television on a Wednesday night as the main event is going to be Hands Still. And that's it's meaningless. Like, it'll continue to be meaningless. Like, you don't have to watch the week in, week out television because the storylines don't progress very much. They're going to be a bunch of random matches. Tom S. Dangerous. What's the S stand for?
Thomas.
Oh, right. Tom S. Wow. How did I miss that? Wow. You, sir, are a genius.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. For those of you that are listening to on the checking out the show in the audio format, I just added a little blurb to Tom's name on the YouTube show, which if you're hanging out with us right now on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We would greatly appreciate it. Maybe even consider subscribing. Anyways, I added a little blurb to Tom's name box that now says S Dangerously underneath of it. So now Tom's name reads Thomas Dangerously.
Exactly. That's just going to be my new name coming into.
You remember whenever your gimmick was you change your name every week?
I do. I think I ran out of gimmicks, and I was starting to recycle them, and that's why. But this is a good one.
I mean, I don't know that anything's better than whenever we were joined by Derrickhausen.
Derrickhausen was that's one of my favorite things that has happened, not just like on the history of this show, but like in the history of you and I being friends and Derek being friends. That might be that's a pinnacle moment for me.
And like that was the one time he got a pass for being late for me.
I would, if I was randomly joined by Derrickhausen again, I would not be disappointed. But that was I will remember that until the day I die.
That was good stuff, Bob. It was real good stuff. So
that's good shit right there, pal.
Yeah, absolutely good shit right there, pal. So leading into Revolution, obviously Revolution is partaking as we are pontificating about things. You think Coke beats Moxley tonight?
So I want to talk about how I was super sour on this, but they've turned it around the last 3 weeks. That it's not like it's okay now. It's not bad anymore. Like that's maybe the best way to say it is that like going into this, it was bad. But like now it's like they've somehow figured it out, ironed it out to where it's not bad. The Wheeler Yuta angle has really been intriguing. Especially while they've taken out everybody else, including Marina Shafir. Yes.
Did you just give Wheeler Yuta a compliment?
I did. And
2 weeks in a row?
I know. Who am I?
You're Thomas Dangerously.
Yeah. So the Wheeler Yuta angle, I think, is what really sold me on it. That and them taking out, like I said, Marina Shafir, who I think has really been the shining star of this whole Death Riders thing. Marina Shafir is in like the bet, like this is where she's meant to be. Whatever happens with the Death Riders, I hope she continues to be John Moxley's sort of like, I carry the belt, I carry a weapon, I carry whatever is important to John at this point in time. I'm going to carry it to the ring. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I'm probably going to punch some people in the face. And I think that's amazing. I think that's perfect for her. And I think that she elevates Mox's character in her being sort of the like silent, like China type. Like she's China to his Triple H right now. It's not being done as well, but she's doing it better than China did it. So it's like, Mox is a Triple H, but she's better than China. Does that make sense? No?
I mean, it makes sense. I just don't necessarily know that I agree with that take.
Okay. But like, I like her. I like what they've done with the, kind of making it so Mox is the only one left. And that's where they left off on Wednesday. And that's why it's like, oh, Cope has taken out all of the Death Riders.
Well, he did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah. One by one. So now it's just him and Mox.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. You think he's going to win the title tonight?
And that's, it went from a very like, who is this Cope dude, to like, oh, that's an Edge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely an Edge thing. But it's going to be the best part about all of that? It's going to be like a 45-second title celebration because the patriarchy is going to jump him and Christian Cage is going to cash in.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Become the AEW champion.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's going to happen. Honestly, I think that's the worst thing for business for AEW, if I'm being honest. But also, I'd be interested in that. Like,
you really think Christian Cage as the AEW champion is worse than John Moxley carrying it around in a briefcase?
I think Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland is.
Yeah, but if he jumps him and cashes in his money in the bank, I'm sorry, his brass ring contract, there's no match. It's just. It's just a reckoning.
I mean, I think that's a good moment for business.
Then Christian Cage very much stands on his morals as a world champion. And Adam Copeland, you had your chance and you fumbled it. And you, sir, can take your ass to the back of the line because you're not getting a rematch for my title. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean that's that could be good. Is that best? Like I said, is that best for business overall? But they've done a lot of things that weren't best for business, including put that title on Bryan Danielson.
You did the thing that I do.
Yeah, I know. And they put it on him, took it off. We lost. Swerve lost for all of that. Swerve could have lost to Cope. But Swerve lost for that. So anyway,
what a
fumble.
Ugh.
Now, to be fair, Swerve and Ricochet has been very good, in my opinion. The internet, not so much. What the fuck, internet? Like, how is this not cool? People are like, oh, why'd Ricochet jump over the desk like that? Because it looked great. After he got stabbed in the face with scissors? I don't know. Because it's wrestling, you fucking mark. Like, what the hell?
I don't know, bro.
I thought it was great. And I thought the segment they had this past Wednesday was good. And then they had a little tag match that it wasn't as good. Because they still got to kind of And that's very Vince McMahon shit, and I don't like that. But I'm Swerve versus Ricochet is happening tonight, and I'm sure it's going to steal the show. I'm sure about it.
It already happened, and I know who won because I'm looking at the results as we speak.
Who won? Because I'm not going to watch.
Swerve Strickland.
Oh, that makes sense. How was the match? Did it say it was really good?
It's Sportskeeda, so it's marky as fuck, and it doesn't really make sense, so it doesn't really matter.
Never mind. Yeah, never mind. They're not actual wrestling commentators with like.
Well, no, I mean when they've invested millions and millions of dollars into Vince Russo to be their face of professional wrestling, I think that.
Yeah, I'm not interested in their opinion on the match. So okay.
No, but I just appreciate that they always have the results to the pay-per-view.
Sure do. At least they put the results up, right? So what we're saying is, Pretty Ricky's lost. I hope that was the match of the night. I imagine it will be. I'll seek it out.
It was given an A- score. I just went back and looked.
I mean, and that's probably low because they're both WWE guys. So I imagine it's fantastic. Like I'm a big fan of Ricochet. Everybody knows that. I'm a big fan of Swerve. I think Swerve is the only person that went to AEW and got booked better because he booked himself. He's on a short list of guys who showed up, booked themselves, and just did it better.
Yeah, because he knows what his character needs to be successful.
Yeah, and motherfucker seemed dangerous as hell.
Oh, here he goes again. Tom S. Dangerously.
And I wasn't a huge fan of the. I love that you popped yourself for that. Wasn't a huge fan of the whole like Prince Nana's coat angle. Like I don't know if why they're putting tension between Swerve and Nana.
I mean, maybe Nana's just trying to go away, man, and just focus on his coffee brand. Did you ever think about that?
No, I didn't. But that's literally the only other option. Is Nana just really wants to make coffee?
Yeah, but isn't he a CPA or some shit too? Like he's like a real human outside of the ring.
Well, yeah, because like he's only made money in wrestling. Like he's been in wrestling for like 30 years, but he's only made money in wrestling like what are these last 2 or 3 years. So like he had to have other ventures to like, eat and shit and live. Like wrestling was his hobby until like 2022.
Sorry.
I mean, it might still kind of only be his side hustle.
And then really the only other match on the card that really is worth a goddamn, because I mean I don't give a fuck about Mercedes Moné, is Hangman Page and MJF.
I think that's the main event, yeah.
No, probably Moxley.
Right, Moxley. That'll be the second to last show.
I think Okada and Brody King have a International American Continental Championship.
Oh, great! They're gonna let Okada beat Brody King on pay-per-view. That's nice.
Well, of course, I mean, because he swerves when he drives.
The fact that they didn't punish Brody.
No speak English.
The fact that they didn't punish Brody for the sins of his buddy.
Well, I mean, the sins of his buddy that fucking Cocaine Tony fucking created.
I think.
How do you fumble something? Like, I know we always have this conversation, but how do you fumble somebody like Malachi Black with as much hype and the way that you pulled it off when everybody thought it was a 90-day and then they found the contract loophole and he was there within a month and like it was a big time moment that they fumbled right out the fucking gate. But even then you could look past Excalibur being a fucking mark for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because holy shit, it's fucking Malachi Black.
Right? Nobody expect it was one of those things that you like, just like, WWE is now. At the time, especially, it was like we were hearing from the dirt sheets. The dirt sheets knew ahead of time all the time, and they just knew. And so you heard about it, and then it happened. And it was so for Malachi Black to show up unspoiled was truly the fumble of a lifetime, because at the time that you didn't get those, you did not get those.
No.
Fumble of a lifetime.
Especially because Tony Khan was being a mark for himself like every fucking week. You know, the biggest debut in AEW history. Oh, and it's fucking like Joey Janela.
Yeah, or Christian.
Oh my God, don't get me started. I was hot, bro. In hindsight, that's worked out for Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And I, especially now, like he's a championship reign is looming.
Yeah.
And I do believe that it's going to go down the way that we anticipate.
I mean, that's really the only way that it may. Well, so that's the smart way for AEW to do it. However, how many times has AEW done things the smart way?
Miedo. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope. And then they bad pressed themselves into a corner by Ray Fenix breaking his ankle, going over and above and beyond for this company on television, like on live television, only for them to hold that against him and put him in contract jail and leave the man in catering for months.
Well, no, see, that's what's nice about AEW is they just don't call you back.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
like you just get to sit at home and get paid. So I mean, at least there's that, right?
Yeah, at least you get to hang out and like watch it play Elden Ring with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
In multiplayer rather than go to fucking work. But
so I'm sure that, you know, come this time next week, when we decide to sit down and do the show next week, you know, we'll have some thoughts on Revolution and how it's unfolded as it's unfolding, as we are currently discussing things that are in the news currently. And something that is currently also kind of in the news is Carmella.
She did give a scathing interview this week.
She did, and I've got a few quotes from said
Corey Graves' career.
From said, and I mean, maybe she's got a little bit of a point here. You know, I think she's got an axe to grind.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly got an axe to grind. I'm just saying that, like,
I mean,
look, and I'm not saying that she's not absolutely right. I love Carmella. I think Carmella. I think Carmella,
she was doing with the mask before she got pregnant.
She was like literally. She had a great title reign, and then like her post reign gimmicks were also great. Like she's really good, and I think that, you know, I agree with your point that like she's making valid criticisms. That being said, I think it's important to point out that her husband still works for WWE and also had a hissy fit sort of recently.
Yeah, but he said behind closed doors, because Michael Cole outed him a couple of weeks ago and said that, you know, he was just trying to create some intrigue on a storyline with Pat McAfee. And Michael Cole said, well, too bad the bosses didn't see it that way, Bub.
Well,
you know, so Carmella says, why would you want to be somewhere that clearly doesn't want you? It's like you're in a relationship and someone is trying to break up with you. You're not wanted in that relationship. It's not for me, and I truly feel that the door's closed between me and WWE.
That's unfortunate.
She'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, but to bring it back,
and before you bring it back to anything, you know who this sounds eerily similar to?
Go ahead.
Butthurt Nikki Bella.
It's
oh my God, what? Hey, Tom, wasn't Butthurt Nikki Bella number 30 in the Women's Royal Rumble? This past January.
Is she probably also going to show up at WrestleMania this year?
Yeah, probably. Maybe she's going to heel turn with her ex-baby daddy, John Cena.
Wait, no, they don't have a kid together.
I know
John
they
Cena
don't.
doesn't have any kids.
No, I know. He doesn't want any kids either, because children are the devil.
I mean, I've got them.
I got to tell you about a kid today. Can I tell you? Can I sidebar us again? Yeah, tell you about a kid. So me and the boy went to the old Menards. Okay. I have a pole leg.
I love that you have a Menards. I've been to that one a couple times.
They're so great.
They really are. We still don't have any. Like Home Depot's got a.
Well, Home Depot's got the chokehold on the greater Pittsburgh area. But anywho,
I would love it.
Anywho, so we've got these pole lights in our front yards, and they are required by our homeowners association to be illuminated during dark hours. And mine has not worked for several months.
Oh boy.
My nephew, who happens to be a very, very successful electrician, was here 4 times in the last several months. And last week when he was here, traced it back and said, "Oh, you just need a new fixture, bub. We've tested everything else. Looked at this, we just need a new fixture." All right, cool. So I go out, buy said new fixture. Well, it comes today to install said fixture, and now there's a problem with underground wiring between said pole light and said house. Right?
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars to dig up my front yard and repair
It looked like shit for the whole summer.
a $6 wire, I opted to buy a solar LED pole light, and I popped it on there. So I went to Menards to pick that up, and as me and the boy are walking down the light fixture aisle, in this particular Menards, the light fixture area is 2 levels. It's got like a little loft, right? It's the only upper level in the entire store. Well, there's 2 upper levels in the entire store, but they're both lofts, right? So these children aged approximately 13 and 11 come flying down the steps, and the littler of the two bowled right over my 5.5-year-old. To which I said, "Hey guys, excuse me is a thing."
Did you have to fist fight a parent in the parking lot? Or?
Well, it was mommy.
Did she yell? I can't imagine. I mean,
no, she corrected her son.
Oh yeah, I was say I can't imagine like somebody who stood next to you and felt like a little guy. I can't imagine somebody somebody just getting in your face.
Yeah,
man, woman, child, regardless.
Fucking kids. Anywho, I'm sorry to derail this,
That's
but
okay.
we were talking about Carmella, and I said about butthurt Nikki Bella, and then you said to take it back. Please proceed.
So to take it back to what we had been talking about, the dirt sheets have no idea what's going on. This could absolutely be similar to what you had just said about the Pat McAfee, Corey Graves angle is just them Carmella trying to sort of create this sort of anti-hero, like fuck my boss character.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a job. She legitimately has been let go by the WWE.
That's true, but her husband still works there, and pitching something to just cause because like I can't imagine there's gonna be a lot of follow up on this, and I'm just saying it's entirely plausible because like you had said, she'll be back, but I think it's entirely plausible that her leaving was, I don't want to say copacetic. I'm sure it wasn't, but I think from what I've heard from the rumors, is that the pregnancy was difficult, the delivery was difficult, and the recovery was and continues to be difficult. She may still not actually be able to wrestle, and I'm sure her contract's been up, for a while. And
well, she says here, she goes on to say the contract situation. I wasn't even given a conversation about my release. Just, hey, we're not renewing your contract. You have 12 days to figure out how to make money and support your family. She says, I was so shocked that I didn't even really know what was happening.
So, and how much of that is fact over fiction, right? And
no, facts. I mean,
I'm just saying that, like, you're telling me there were no, even if there were conversations, but like, what if this is like just still something that like, hey, we could use this as an angle. So if want to make money going on interviews, go ahead and say they just let me go. I don't know if and when you can come back, because maybe the deal is that like she can't come back. Like maybe that's the deal, is that like I'm probably not going to be able to, like, or it's going to be a 2-3 year recovery. And WWE does a lot of things sort of not behind the books, but sort of like outside of Sonya Deville came out and said last week, Vince rented me a house and armed security after that, stalker thing happened. Nobody knew about that.
Not so I could poop on her, pal. Ha ha ha. That's good shit.
But it's fact or fiction. Is this a potential? Hey, I'm going to be out for a long time because I can't be, and WWE isn't willing to just let me sit on contract for, then that's it. I mean, it's a business. Let's be fair. And if that's the case, she probably understood that, like, okay, look, I'm not coming back. It's if it is, it's going to be 3 years or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, your contract's up. We'll pay you through your contract, and then once you can go again, let us know how it's going. And it's not just, oh, woe is me, protect for my family. Corey Graves signed a pretty big contract last year. Provide for my family. Corey Graves makes double what you and I make combined.
Yeah, but they live in that fancy upscale high-rise apartment complex in downtown Pittsburgh, and rent's probably like $12,000 a month.
It's probably like 3 or 4. It's they'll be okay. Is all I'm saying. Corey Graves signed a $4.5 million contract like last year, so, and he doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
I mean, maybe completely ghosted. It hurts because I feel like I've always been a company girl and I've done whatever they needed me to do. I represented the company in a professional manner. I've never gone off script or done anything like that. It feels like a rough way to end a 12-year career with the company.
Again, if it's true, that's shitty. I'm just playing devil's advocate in the realm of kayfabe here, because again, how much of this is true? How much of this is like, just tell them this, and whenever 3 years from now, when you feel better and you can do this again, let's fucking go.
Yeah, but I think this next statement really kind of puts things into perspective. She goes, I felt like I was being punished because I had a baby.
That's so very like, one, illegal.
Yeah.
But like, because that's so illegal, and I knew you were gonna go there. Like, it's illegal. It's wholly illegal.
Yeah.
To fire. So that to me was almost the like, okay, this is kayfabe. Because that's illegal. Like, that's straight up. Like, she could just sue.
Yeah, but she didn't say that they fired her because she had a baby. She said she feels like she was fired for having a baby. I mean, you look at the likes of Becky Lynch. Like, she comes back and she smashes fucking Bianca in like 8 seconds.
Right. It's just not. Again, you're right, because they brought Ronda back too at post. Wait, no, they didn't bring Ronda back post baby. Ronda left to try to have a baby, that didn't work out, and then Ronda came back to finish her contract, and then she went and had a baby. But still, what else happened? Brie Bella came back after having children. Brie Bella came back and had a world title reign or two after having children. So did Becky.
Whoa.
Who else? I mean, Bianca has stepchildren. I don't think she has around. I don't think.
Yeah, those are Montez's.
Those are Montez's kids.
Montez Ford's children.
Trying to think of who. Mickey James.
Did she not? Speaking of. Have you seen the news?
I've seen some news, but I don't know if I know what you're.
She's being replaced in season 2 of Let's Fucking Go, Legends and Future Greats by one Michelle McCool.
Oh, we know why that's happening.
Oh yeah, and it's all over the place that Undertaker's the reason that it's happening.
Absolutely. He was like, Michelle needs to work. Like, honestly, he has been like, Michelle was great, and like, don't get me wrong, like, I like Michelle. But I love how go hard Taker is for Michelle. He's like, no. I'm the Undertaker. My wife gets to do cool shit. And if that's not feminism right there, I don't know what is, brother.
I'm the Undertaker, and my wife is a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
My wife fucking helped kickstart this women's revolution, which is true.
I mean, absolutely true.
It is true, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that one of the best storylines in all of women's wrestling was not Trish Stratus and Mickie James, the Crazy Stalker fan.
Yeah, no, that put both of them on the map. Like, without that, Trish is not what we think of her today.
So, and I mean, we all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Mickie James just because of the way that she left WWE and how the whole trash bag thing went down.
What's in the bag, Mickie?
What's in the bag, Mickie? And the fact that she's got the audacity to take a payday from WWE, even though her husband works there and is
sure does
fucking just phenomenal on screen.
He's so good.
Man, I'd love to see him get one nice run in the WWE. Just one in-ring run. Just so that the WWE fan has the chance to appreciate the national treasure.
I feel like it would be so close to what they do with Gunther. It would just be like, it would almost have to be that way.
Jey Uso is winning at WrestleMania. You're not going to change my mind.
Oh no, absolutely. Like that one's at least.
And when he does, the internet wrestling community is going to fucking shit a chicken.
But WWE is going to sell a literal $1 billion of shirts that just say Yeet and have a title belt.
Yeah, or like World Yeet Champion, or like Yeet Champion, or
it's going to be a terrible shirt.
Heavy Yeet Champion or some shit.
Yeah, it's going to be a terrible shirt, but they're going to sell $1 billion
at $29.99. Well, no, they're like $34.99 now.
Yeah, they're going to sell $1 billion of t-shirts at $34.99 a pop. This will be the Austin 316 shirt of us in 7th grade.
Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass."
The censored version, so you could wear it to middle school.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
The censored version again, so you could wear it to middle school. But although somehow we still got to wear Suck It t-shirts to middle
Yeah,
school.
dude, wild world. I got suspended from middle school because I had a South Park shirt on that had Kyle kicking Ike, and it said "Kick the baby."
That's a good shirt. I remember that.
Promoting domestic violence with your t-shirt, young man. No, Joyce. No, I'm not. It's just fucking hilarious.
It's funny. It's South
crazy
Park.
Fucking psycho bitch.
I think she passed away.
She did.
Yeah.
God rest her soul.
No, hopefully.
Maybe. She's probably the devil's favorite fucking sister.
She tells him what to do now.
Yeah, go live. What a fucking just oak tree of a woman, bro. God bless America. Fucking Marine drill sergeant turned middle school principal. Like, how did we even get here?
I feel like we end up here a lot more often than we try to.
Goodness. Hey, if you're still hanging out with us, man, we appreciate the hell out of you. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. Dude, but like, so I rewatched the Mr. McMahon documentary series this week. Okay. Wasn't really anything on TV that like at some of the hours I was awake this week. So I was like, I'll watch this. And as I went through it, and for somebody that's kind of what we'll call in the know, like a you or an I, or like a hardcore type WWE fan, that whole docuseries is like individual episodes. about certain things that we all know and love, right? But as I was sitting here watching this, I really started to think about the possibility of what Triple H's mark is going to be on pro wrestling. You know, you look at Vince McMahon and he's got so many fucking generational type talents. You know, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Macho Man Randy
Savage, you know,
The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock,
right?
I mean, Batista to a degree as well.
Yeah. Who's the first one that we're going to look back on and be like, man, Triple H fucking created a fucking badass motherfucker there?
So I think that it depends on where we start, right? Are we only starting like a year and a half ago?
No, I mean, I'm with you on this. Like, we're in the same wavelength here. I think we can allow ourselves to head back to Black and Gold NXT in its heyday.
So, like,
prime.
would Bianca Belair count as like maybe the first like Triple H guy?
Could Seth Rollins count?
Right. Yeah. Does Seth Rollins count? Is Seth Rollins Hulk Hogan, or is he more the Roddy Piper to that era of, not that, you know, Vince didn't create Piper, but, you know, is he, you know, more the guy who's always in the picture? I mean, obviously, like, Roddy Piper, I don't think was ever the world champ, right?
Nope, never.
Right.
He's only ever held one championship ever, like, you know, WWE, WCW, and that was the Intercontinental Championship, and it was for like 10 days.
That was like, singles titles, because he was a tag champ.
Yeah, with Ric Flair for like 10 days.
Yeah.
When they were in their fucking 60s. So, like, well, 50s, but you know, I mean, they may well have been in their 60s at that day and age, because, you know, then during that time, that run, 40 was old. And now 40 is like, AJ Styles is 46, Damian Priest is 42, The Miz is like 44.
40 is like, now you're in the prime. Now you're just like the consistent hand at 40. You know,
I think a lot of that comes with life experience, though, right? Like, you know, we're just tiptoeing into our 40s here as we approach the 6-month mark, and you know, there's a lot of situations, you know, especially the new situation that I've been put in professionally, right? I've been put in a situation where I can impact some college-aged type folks. I think that the life experience part is what makes your 40s such a great place. And if you're, you know, well put together in your 40s, unlike I, and you're able to perform at a very high level on the main, you know, the big screen of WWE or even AEW for that matter.
Yeah.
I think that your life experience makes you what you are.
Right. And, you know, you're not, to that credit, you're not seeing the biggest bump the Miz takes is off a barricade, but onto a crash pad. Right. Like, and that was 5 years ago. You know, he's not taking these, I'm jumping off the top of Hell in a Cell, you know, with a trash can on top of my head into 6 people kind of thing. He's not doing the Shane McMahon elbow drop, you know, 30 feet up in the air kind of like that's, you know, he's not taking those bumps. And to be fair to John Cena as well, John Cena's not taking those bumps. You know, Triple H wasn't taking those bumps late in his career.
Time to play the game.
So I mean, there's a lot to be said about these guys who are just like, you know, dialing it back to more be cerebral than anything else. And I think that, you know, like you said, it's like, you know, they don't have to, like, you know, get tore asshole to appetite to get over with the crowd. Yeah, to get over with the crowd. They can just, let's say they got a blade a little bit. Okay. Like, oh no, my forehead. I'm gonna die from my little cuts in my forehead. Like, no, just grow your bangs out or something. Or just be the fucking Great Abdullah and just have a weird fucking melon. But yeah, I feel like guys are going to be wrestling well into their 40s now, and I think wrestling retirement age is going to be closer to 50, especially for guys who are long-term main event talent. They'll have long stints of not being there, similarly to how the Undertaker would have long stints of not being there, but I think their presence will be felt sort of in a absent script makes the heart grow fonder kind of a way. But yeah, I think that we're going to see more guys wrestling into their 40s and late 40s and early 50s, like Ric Flair did. When Rick did it, it was unheard of. It was like, this guy is a once in a lifetime kind of guy, and now it's like, well, everybody's gonna kind of get there because like Rick told everybody the secrets. So except like get hammered every night, which probably
and
really
then Whirly Burger Pecker at a flight attendant or two.
I mean, let's be fair. Ric Flair is Whirly Burger.
You like what you see, honey?
Pecker.
Yeah. Why don't you come ride Space Mountain?
I mean, let's be fair. He's done that he wrestled in the 70s.
He's done that a time or two.
Or 35, 60, whatever. I mean, the man's been in 4 plane crashes?
1 for sure.
Like 3 at least. He's certainly Whirly birded his pecker on more planes than have fallen out of the sky. Put it that way.
Well, not in the year 2025, that's for certain. We're at like 97 confirmed instances.
Well, Ric Flair wasn't on any of them, thankfully. At least thus far. Wait, why does he get John Cena's music?
I don't know. It's catchy.
It really is
stuck in my head, and
when it happens, like everybody, like I don't care if you hate Cena, you hear his music and you go, "Yeah!" What?
Hey, so Travis Scott's selling a WWE collaboration T-shirt on his website, and it appears to be a cropped T-shirt, much like the kids are wearing these days. And I don't know if you can see here.
Wrestling is real.
Yeah,
and that's good because he's gonna find out.
And then there's a back hit, and it's the picture of him and Cena and Rock standing in the ring with the Cactus Jack emblazoned over here, and they're selling that for $55 on Travis Scott's website. It might still be available, probably not, because anything that Travis Scott releases sells out immediately. Shoes, apparel,
like print to order. Like, can't you just sell infinite?
Yeah, but these types of guys don't do that print to order thing. Sure. They believe in hype. Travis Scott's the only human I know that has like 8 fucking sneaker releases that doesn't even combine total that of a regular general release type thing. So
it's fair, I guess, but still sell the things, make the fucking money. I made 8 of this T-shirt. I'm gonna make $600. What the fuck?
The hype is real, brother.
The hype is real. Exactly.
So, yeah, man. Lots going on though. Gonna be good. Gonna be a good week. Can't wait to see how Monday Night Raw plays out tomorrow. Can't wait to see.
I hope the Naomi and Jade Cargill thing kind of floats through here coming up.
Yeah, me too. Shout out to Naomi for maybe finally getting away from the GLOW.
So I thought when her music came on, I'm like, is she gonna come out and dance to the ring to be very like somber? Like, how funny would that have been had she like give a half-hearted dance to the ring?
And then like grab her neck.
Grab her neck, cry. I did it. It was me. I did it for you.
I did it for Bianca, brother.
B, I did it for you, B. B, please. No,
I mean, at least she's listen. At least she's involved in something that's captivating and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's only taken her 15 years.
It's first time for everything, and she did great. Hey, to her credit, she could have fucked it up. Like that's not Tommy End. She could have been like, that's not Tommy End. I'm not Naomi. I didn't wrestle in Dusseldorf, Germany. She totally could have fucked it up. She didn't, though. Went great.
So we talked about this earlier, and I think it bears repeating and kind of circling back to and tying a bow on it. Lots of shakeup in the WWE Championship ranks, and I don't believe that they're done yet. I do believe that the tag team titles are going to end up on Pretty Deadly pre-WrestleMania.
I think that would be great. I mean, they're going to lose them at WrestleMania, but still, like, I fucking love Pretty Deadly, and I thought that was that was the hardest match to not suck balls, and it was really good.
Though that triple threat tag team match,
it
was pretty good.
Those are the hardest matches to not make suck balls, and they really like. Those guys fucking knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they did a nice job. They definitely did a nice job. And, I know it was a few short months ago that, you and I talked about Pretty Deadly. And I said, hey, man, like, I really hope that they get a chance. They're kind of in the character development stage where they're just getting shit on every week. And, can they keep their heat? Can they maintain the ability to be consummate professionals and continue to show up every week and continue to entertain the masses?
Yes, boy.
And the wins will eventually come. And I think that we are very much at a pivotal point with Pretty Deadly. Just like when they were in NXT, it's a very similar career path for them, where they came in and, highly entertaining. You love to hate them. And then to have the ability to get put into a position to be the champions and then just be completely and utterly incorrigible.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Just be fucking insufferable. They are the like inverse nasty boys. And that's really what I like about how like
that's actually pretty good. That's a
they're not like gross, like they're just too pretty. But it's like they're fucking
their antics are very fucking are very nasty boys.
Yeah, they're fucking insufferable.
Knobs and sags.
Yeah, they're fucking insufferable. It's really hard to like you have to really understand that these guys are really going for it because like they do things they get spit on for, and they're just like they're all in, right? They're face first, and they bump like crazy for everybody, and they have been doing that, but also like been maintaining their heat, but just being fucking pricks. Yeah, and I like it so much.
They're good, and I hope that they get a nod, and I hope they get a look-ski, and I hope that it keeps the SmackDown Tag Team division going strong because the Raw Tag Team division continues to flounder with the War Raiders on top. I'm sorry, we made a mistake splitting these two sets of tag team titles. Just like I said 3 years ago, whenever they brought them together with the Usos. That was the best decision that could have been made creatively for the tag team division. I still feel that way today. Splitting the tag team titles and splitting the division across two shows was a terrible idea, and it's starting to reveal itself.
It's too.
And I like the War Raiders.
It's just too hard not to forget about it. Like it's too hard not to forget about them. I think the War Raiders is the right call. I think they're better than, anybody else as far as all of that's concerned. But at the same time, it's like it feels so like, all right, here's your flowers. Sorry. It's like an apology tour.
Yeah,
right?
Almost, right?
It's like it's sorry guys.
I'd love to see the tag team titles go on heel New Day. I think that's going to be a thing eventually.
I hope so.
because they're still doing pretty decent, pretty solid work with that. The WWE Universe definitely still
super
heavily
mad.
boos them. They don't have the same level of Dominic Mysterio type heat that they had initially, but it's still very, very much there.
I think putting the tag titles on them would kind of reignite that heat a little bit.
Yeah.
So and I think there's still like it's there needs to be ebbs and flows to it. I think we're in a little ebb right now. We're in a little
boo.
Little downswing. It's not the boo isn't quite as hard.
Boo.
But I think if they sneak themselves into a tag team title reign, we'll be back up here to the bah! Especially if they fucking just fuck the War Raiders over and really like elevate the War Raiders in doing so, like really fuck them over. You know what I mean? Like have a new third New Day member show up to like a la when Solo showed up to fuck over Drew and get let Roman retain the title, but like obviously like some third new guy who's not Odyssey Jones obviously come out and like really fuck him over, or maybe Big E rejoins them, but Big E turns and Big E is like to the fans, whatever it ends up being.
Boo. Boo.
Boo. Exactly. Whatever it ends up being. Like I feel like somebody, a third member of the New Day, or just somebody coming in fucking over like the War Raiders.
Boo.
I think it would be a big deal. I think it'd be good.
Boo.
Also, JD and the reason you feel that way about the Raw titles is because JD and Finn never like really defended them ever. They just held them.
Speaking of Finn Balor, have you been noticing in the Judgment Day segments that Demon Finn logos have been behind them? An awful
and he's
lot.
been like tweaking out. He's like, Finn, everybody's like, Finn, are you okay? He's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. What's going on?
Yeah.
But he's going from
Huh. It's almost like, yeah. I kind of feel like it's almost like somebody somebody might have thrown in the towel a little too soon. Huh?
Did I though?
Yeah, you did. I mean, I've got enough video evidence to probably put 3 hours worth of YouTube together.
Oh, at least fucking Finn Balor loser shit. Yeah. He hasn't wrestled lately, but I'm sure he lost those too.
There you go. There you go. You're like the angry fans in Major League 2.
Absolutely.
It's the mild thing.
It's exactly what I am. It's exactly it.
Tom S. Dangerously.
Stop being a chooch or else I'll come after you.
Oh,
fucking
loser. So, we've talked about a lot of talent here. But still nobody stands out as like that generational Triple H made talent.
I think thus far the potential is there. If we're going to count Bianca, although I think Vince was pretty high on her too, higher, some would say. So I think if we don't count Bianca, LA Knight's been sort of the I don't know, the like.
I think we could give an argument that it could be LA Knight.
He's the redemption story at least. But the first like real Triple H guy to make it. It's maybe Aleister Black has some potential to like if he comes back and makes a big impact.
That's not Tommy End.
That's not Tommy. Yeah, but who's to say it's not already going to be Penta? Like Penta's on this trajectory right now that's looking good. Pete Dunne, after sort of being relegated to being the third guy.
I'm nobody's Butch.
Exactly, but as Butch, Now him coming back and that.
Yeah,
whole,
but also though too, Pete Dunne embraced that shit. Like we came in here just singing Pete Dunne's praises week in and week out. Like he was just all in on the bad gimmick. Like he made that work for him.
He did. And it you know what? I don't think that it hurt him. I think it stagnated him a little bit, but I don't think it hurt him at all. And he was, I think at this point, he may have been, at least initially, on TV a little more often than he's been as Pete Dunne. Although, except recent weeks, he's been on every week doing shit with Penta, and that shit, that's over, and that's going really well. So, let's keep rolling with that, because that's all looking good, and wherever that goes is great.
Hot take incoming. I'm willing to bet that if we're going to put one person's name to a possible Triple H generational talent, the first one ever, I think that we've got to do ourselves an absolute favor. And we've got to say, hello, Kevin. It's great to see you again.
Kevin Owens?
No, sir.
Oh, him. Yeah. Did you notice that he changes his hair depending on who he's
Sure did. So did the internet.
His hair was so silky this last week.
Looked just like AJ's got his soccer mom bob going,
Looked exactly like it was so silky. Like,
I said, man, I don't think we've ever seen him with his hair down like that.
What the fuck's going on? And then AJ Styles walks on screen and you go, wait, is he doing this on purpose? And then the internet noticed and they went back and inserted other hairdos with other
Sami
people.
Zayn, the way he wears his bun, that's the same way I wear mine, with a little poke out in the bottom.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. Oh, Xavier Woods. Yeah. Woodsy. All poofed back.
Yeah. I was when they put that together, I was like, that's.
And some of the work that he's doing on the old Twix machine too is pretty good. So if we can just figure out how to correlate that into and then the bell rang,
yeah, exactly,
in a positive way, just get back to him just fucking murking dudes.
Yeah, guys just being so frustrated with him.
It was working.
That they just start swinging at him, and he just ducks one, smashes him real fast, with a cross, whatever. What are his finishers now? God, I don't even remember.
Well, I know he got rid of the Reckoning. No, that was Damian Priest that did the Reckoning.
Yeah.
I think he's probably, I don't know, he's not been in the ring all that often here. So
right? Nor has he won.
I mean, maybe he's hurt.
Did his leg fall off and they stitched it back on, so they prop him up to do these segments? What the fuck? It's been a long. You're right. I mean, he was not in the Rumble. Actually, now that we think about it, it's got to have been at least 3 months since he's actually been in the ring, because he was in the ring.
Yeah, right before AOP and Paul Ellering got cut, because that's how Paul Ellering. Yep, I can talk. Paul Ellering made his return was because they were in a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Or a 4-man or whatever, because the Miz was with them with the Wyatt Six or whatever.
Yeah, but even then, it was they were sort of hiding him in the sense of maybe he wasn't cleared. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he's real hurt. He's rehabbing it still.
But I think that if we can maybe regain some of that steam from the original Karrion Kross days, the NXT Karrion Kross days, with this new character, I mean, you might be able to put yourself in an argument where Karrion Kross could be a Triple H generational talent.
Especially if right now what's happening the backstage stuff is only happening because he's hurt and they can't actually put him out there and let him do stuff, because he can't be cleared for whatever reason. We don't know that, and I think under this regime we're not going to know that. But there's a solid argument for that at some point if we find out. Oh, the reason why he wasn't in the ring and why it was all backstage segments is because this guy's had diverticulitis or whatever. And it's been some time, but, kudos to him. He's still showing up to work every week, throwing his guts up. and putting on a little backstage pre-recorded segment so that he's still in the fans' eyes, minds, and hearts. So maybe guy still looks like $1 million too. Like if we're being fair, like he looks better now than he did last year.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. But quite the shakeup with all of the titles. I feel like is imminent pre WrestleMania to kind of make some things fresh coming out of WrestleMania, perhaps. The biggest one, of course, is rescuing us from what could possibly be the worst United States Championship title reign in the history of United States Championship title reigns, so much so that the great late Harley Race probably turned over in his grave several times, was one L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Beating Shinsuke Nakamura to win the WWE United States Championship this Friday.
I wasn't as sour on Shinsuke's reign as everybody else was, but it's been a little lackluster.
He didn't do anything, bro. He was never on TV.
Well, he would give the backstage promo.
Yeah, but you fucking hate you hate his new presentation.
I do, and I hate his entrance. Truthfully, with the flute, hate it.
I mean, at least it's the same tune.
Yeah.
What do you think this does for WrestleMania and the United States Championship?
Create something new, hopefully new and exciting, and like something we're not ready for. Like I said, especially with if it is Aleister Black, and he shows up this week, I mean, I think that it feels rushed, especially if he loses, or especially if he wins, actually. But then if he loses, it's like, oh, brought this Chooch back just to be a Chooch. But I mean, I guess that happened to Cody, and it worked out okay. I don't know, man.
Well, you know what they say, bud. Chooching ain't easy.
No, it ain't. But yeah, do you do that with a mid card title? At the same time, like I think that's the real question. Is that like, do you bring the guy back to have him lose at WrestleMania only for, him to finally conquer the mountain like at SummerSlam or WrestleMania the following year or whatever? It's like, yeah, but for a mid card title, like you're gonna. I don't know that it had the momentum with a main card title in a part-time worker with Roman Reigns. So I does it work with a mid card title on every Friday for a year? I don't think so. So it's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing, bud. Like, I'm super excited to see how everything shakes out heading into WrestleMania. I feel like I say that a lot, like, because we just sit here with such great anticipation and what the next piece is going to be. Maybe even throw Jacob Fatu into that generational talent conversation.
Actually, now that you bring that up, he might be the first real one. I mean, he's big, he's Samoan, he could talk, he can work.
All gas, no brakes.
Exactly.
I've been saying that all week at work too, by the way. I'm like, like super, and then I start my my meetings with let me talk to you. Uber Mark,
There we go.
There you go.
The button stopped working.
Whatever. Shit happens. So, yeah. Great week in wrestling. Looking forward to another great week in wrestling. Hopefully we get some resolution from Revolution, and we're able to kind of see, some things maybe take some shape and watch Tony Khan not counter program John Cena's heel turn. And we'll see where that gets him. So yeah. We're left as the world turns, my friend. we're left with another week of more unanswered questions.
Well, I mean, that's what we should be left with every week.
Agreed.
I don't want to walk into a week going, what new questions can I be given now? I want to go in with questions. I don't want to,
Yeah.
Only one question left.
There is only one question left, and that is,
are you guys matching?
We are. Jesus, she noticed.
She did.
She's been home for 30 seconds.
I match too, though. So
she matches too.
I mean, I've got.
Your hat matches too, actually.
I supported my boys today, even though they got their fucking dicks kicked in by the Dukies last night. I mean, they were in that game with like 4 minutes left, and yeah, got ugly quick.
With Walter, once you're done
okay.
Podcasting to the fans,
apparently,
fans want to hear how this bitch has got her fucking face beaten.
Ashley's got a story for us once we're done.
Oh, okay. Well, to answer your question about questions, yes, there is only one question remaining, and that, sir, is the world famous One Fall WrestleCast Match of the Week segment. And who was your pick?
So my pick is
Tom S. Dangerously.
So my pick is our triple threat tag team match from Friday Night SmackDown.
That was good.
The Pretty Deadly in with the Motor City Machine Guns, aka the Detroit Bang Bang Gang, and Los Garza. Because this was going into this. Okay, so going into this, I think I've already alluded to this. My expectations were on the floor. This is a hard match to get right on television with commercial breaks. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is like, hey guys, wrestling is checkers. Play chess upside down in the dark. And somehow it was fucking great from start to finish. So that means that there were 6 guys out there who are better than everybody else who has ever tried this match. Because this might be the actual best version of this match that's ever happened, period. Now, that's not super high praise because most of these are like 0.2 out of 10. Like, most of these are pure dog shit matches. This match, however, was phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. And then Pretty Deadly comes up with the win out of fucking nowhere. Unbelievable booking. Great wrestling. Great match. Had no idea what was going in. All 3 teams had reasons to hate each other getting into this match, which is usually like the problem number 1 with this match. So great match. Kudos to them for taking a match that's like, this is going to be terrible, and actually going out and sort of stealing the show with it. When that type of shit happens, like, I love it because you've just defied every odd that's ever happened throughout the history of wrestling, and history is important. That's my match of the week.
Well, you know what's awesomely hilarious about the fact that your match of the week was a tag team triple threat match. My match of the week was also a tag team triple threat match. But it's not the same one, and it's quite possibly the best tag team triple threat match to ever happen in, what did you say? The
history of pro wrestling?
The history of pro wrestling, and that would be from WrestleMania 17.
Oh, okay. So we're throwback now. Okay.
TLC 2, Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudley Boys.
I mean,
I did one of those things this week where like I just like randomly watched matches that like I hadn't seen in a while. Man, I forgot how good this fucking match was.
So that was because though they didn't have the same constraints of only 2 people in the ring there were no constraints. In fact, it was mayhem. But
absolute, complete, and utter mayhem. And during the time frame in which said TLC 2 happened, that was what we craved the most, was mayhem.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what,
We were like 13.
it holds up.
I bet.
Like, it's still really, really good. And if you haven't seen this match in a while, I beg you to just fire up the Peacock. Go to WrestleMania X7. Okay, it's the one before 18, which was Icon versus Icon, The Rock versus Hogan. Right. What a fantastic tag team ladder match. The spear with the fucking hanging belts. The double table spot with the fucking Devon or Bubba going through the fucking the pyramid of tables in the entryway. Like, oh my God, what a great fucking match.
Chaos. It's pure chaos.
But it does, Tom. It holds up to today's standards. And
I don't think anybody got juice in that match.
nope,
did they?
nope,
There was no blood,
nope, working safe.
which was safe. Those guys carry injuries from that match to this day.
Working safe.
Working safe. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. So if you haven't watched it in a while, it's worth a go back and peep. And for me, that was the best match that I watched all week. So I brought it here. So, all right. Well, Tom, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here so we can hear Ashley's story. But if you're still hanging out with us, man, we appreciate you. If you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, we'd greatly appreciate it. Maybe even consider subscribing would really help us out. You can check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We're available there. I promise. You probably just have to do a little searchy search, and just look for the little green logo. It'll be okay. Kind of looks like the NWO logo.
Type like this.
Yeah, and we're there. And we appreciate those folks that tune in each and every week. Yeah, man. So great show. We talked about Derrickhausen. We talked about LA Knight. We talked about generational talents. Really excited to see what fruits the Revolution tree bears. And we'll go from there.
Hopefully.
Like always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast with Thomas Dangerously
And Walt.
Later, y'all.